Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I was a little bit late there. I was there's the stream store has like their own like merch, like that's where we have the sweatshirts, t-shirts, mugs, and everything like that. They have now extended, what the heck are they calling these things? XL gaming pads or XXL gaming mouse pads. So they're like the really long ones, some of the ones that I sent out. So they added those, and I don't know, it's kind of funky. Like I was trying to upload things, but it keeps putting like the picture like smack in the middle, and then it's like surrounded by all this color, so it like doesn't. I don't know. It's kind of funky. Like it doesn't like quite look right. I'm gonna have to message them later and be like, "Yo, I'm not hiring a designer. I have plenty of pictures that I can put there. Let me put it through the whole mat. I don't need it outlined. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I was getting kind of sucked into that one. All right. Well, I hope everybody had a good weekend. It was, I don't know, depending on where you guys are in the US, the East Coast is having like I don't know if it's a heat wave. I haven't heard heat wave yet. I guess we need like 10 days in a row or something for that one. But like every morning my phone keeps blowing up that it's excessive heat warning, I guess. So it's been like, mid 90s, but like 85% humidity. So it's been like super fun here. And we had our red, white, and blue lacrosse tournament yesterday. I didn't play in it. But last night they were like, "We're looking for bodies, guys. We need people to show up." I'm like, "Man, we got a game tomorrow night and Wednesday night." I'm like, "Mm-mm." So everybody's hurting. Like two guys have already dropped out of tonight's game. I'm like, "You guys better be there." So I'm like, "This is real season stuff." So you can. A lot of old school memes are going around this morning. Um, yeah, 90s is considered excessive heat with the match of the humidity, Ernest. So like the MLL, the Major League Lacrosse, is playing their like 7-day season right now. The temperature on the turf is 120 right now. So because turf always sucks it in. So it's like 120 plus 85% humidity. So yeah, it's hotter than Texas, Ernest. Don't worry. Our heat index is higher than yours right now. Been hot, muggy heat too. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, 70 and 85% humidity would be great. 95, but then you get on AstroTurf and it just jacks at like 20 degrees. It's horrible. They keep showing like on field temperature, and you're like no. So yeah, we have the heat warning till 8 p.m. tonight. My game is at 8 p.m. So I'm hoping like I don't know. I'm hoping there's like a thunderstorm at like 6, and it like just cools everything down. Um, but then it'll be like twice the humidity, so it'll be fun. Yay! But I was running with the kids all day Saturday, so I felt good with that. I did like two laps around the field, was running sprints with them for like 20 minutes. Um, then we did like 60 squats, like walking on Saturday was fun. But I was like, I feel totally fine today, so I feel like I'm in shape for it. So that's all that matters. All right, so kind of a lot of stuff going on right now. The last, I don't know, 12 hours or so have been kind of interesting with the EU Economic Summit. Um, Pretty much little around the world except the pound is enjoying it right now. Like the pound is definitely hitting some strength, and I actually think it's. I don't know. I really can't even say it's the dollar that's weak, because if you look at dollar yen, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, Aussie dollar, they're not really moving much. I mean, 3 pips, minus 14, minus 115, and even 35 on the euro dollar. Not really tons, right? So pound obviously has been pretty excited, but when you look down in like the latest stories, it's very hard to find much in here. There's one story about Johnson a little while ago, and that was about it. If you guys looking at the hottest news stories of the morning, everything is focused on the EU Economic Summit, and we talked about this last week. How many days it was going to be? It was like, is it going to be one? May it be two? Could it possibly be three? Well, we're in day 4. Yesterday they were talking about no compromise. We're not going to find a deal, right? Today, at least, Macron or Marcon, how do you say his name, Macron? He's kind of an interesting dude. But yeah, he's talking about, look, there are hopes for a compromise, but I mean, we remain prudent. France is making a lot of statements. They're the ones making it. So I feel like it's interesting. Typically, the guy that talks the most is the one that needs it the most. France is talking a lot. So I'm very curious to see if I don't know. It's just interesting. You don't really see that. But again, they're talking about how they're ready to accept this, 390 billion in grants, etc. So I do think we will hear something today. Like I said, I didn't expect it that it would go 4 days, but we are in day 4 right now. It's obviously going to affect the euro, but again, it's probably affecting the pound as well. And again, euro pound, you're seeing a little bit of movement, but again, it is still that pound strength that we see. So today, as far as Monday goes, it is a rather tame day. We really don't have much U.S. data today, so again, a lot of this will be, I mean, it's going to be a media-driven day, one way or the other. There was some news earlier. Here's that, the Johnson data. This Autonomy Act right here may come up. People may talk about it. Again, he's, the Hong Kong dollar peg in the short run. We'll see. We actually haven't heard too much about this. It's been rather quiet for the most part. I think this is what's going to be bigger, right? What does the the new COVID numbers look like? And again, it was 15,000 last week, so you're like, yay, it's only 12. I don't know. I think that's going to be more what we're focusing on today. I think it's going to be purely media driven. We have nothing till tonight for the Aussie. The monetary policy, and again, what Lo was saying, that will probably move the Aussie a bit. Like I said, I think, tomorrow, a little bit better. Again, we have, core retail sales in the morning and the retail sales tomorrow night. So we're in the very tail end of July. We're in the peak of vacation season for people that have been able to go on vacation. What the saying is, go away in May, and, sell in May and skip basically the summer. And that's where we're at, right? That's where we're at. Just came across it. Do you mind giving a quick 0 to 60 on what you usually talk about? Ignore this if it gets time and such. No problem, Tiger. So Tiger, what I'll do is just the quick 30-minute speech here, or the quick 30-second speech is I'm a price action trader, predominantly currencies. But what I do is during these sessions, I will break down basically the main currency pairs, the big majors that most people are trading. I'll break down to 3 indices, and then I look at gold, silver, and oil. I don't do anything with natural gas in here. If there's time at the end, I'll typically, if anybody wants me to break anything down stock-wise, I'll break it down. I've traded since about the end of 2001 time period, so the whole kind of tech bubble. I was a financial advisor for a bit. So I've traded it from retail side, traded it from the inside, and then spent about 7 years traveling around the U.S. and Canada teaching people and doing seminars on how to trade the markets. And then decided that I was tired of missing my kids so much. So I decided that, hey, listen, I'm not going to travel anymore. I'm going to stay at home. I can use the internet. I can teach people. And, again, spend a lot more time with my kids. So that's what I'm doing. So if you have something you want me to look at, you're more than welcome to do it. I'm not a big indicator-based trader. I am very much price action. Not so much candlestick patterns, but I'm basically supply and demand. You'll hear me use a number of different, words of terminology. But what I like about this, the way that I trade is it really doesn't matter which chart I'm looking at. It can be really anything, and it's fine. Supply and demand is really just how markets work. So, housing, it works in housing. We don't analyze housing here, but it would work. It works in everything. So, if you have questions, you're more than welcome to answer it. You'll see there's plenty of people on the channel. Most of these are all my students, so they're more than welcome to answer anything that you ask. They can give you definitions. You'll hear me use some terminology today like Harry Potter or momentum breakout. They're more than welcome to kind of explain that in channel, or if I see it, I will also kind of explain what it is. All right. Hopefully that was good enough for you. All right. So going across the scanner wise, right now, again, looks like so far this morning, kind of what we've seen in, with Forex Factory in the 24-hour pip changes. Starting again on the right, we're seeing pound strength across the board. Again, getting a little choppy on the 4-hour now, which is expected. It's been some time since the European or the UK Open. 30-minute, we're still going strong to the top side. And again, we got 3 anchor breaks in there, guys. Basically breaking trend to the top side. So that's always nice to see. So on the 4-hour, it's nothing but positive for the pound. What's going to be most important is let's see where we are curve-wise. Again, are we running into any areas of big demand? This much movement this early with no U.S.-based traders, we have to be thinking there's probably going to be some type of a retracement. So we'll kind of see what we got going over there. Aussie is a mixed bag right now. There was a great trade setup. I don't know if you guys took it or not. For those of you that have the weekly newsletter, the first one was an Aussie short. It came right back up, and it's a level that we talked about last Friday, I guess. We said if we were able to get back up in that zone by Sunday, we'd be looking for shorts. And it was. It was a nice little short, went all the way to 1 to 5, has now retraced back up again, although, it's been there a few times. We'll see if if it's worth it or not. There's a small position there, probably short. But again, U.S. traders coming online Monday morning, reacting to the news. There's a lot of stuff. So we'll look at it in one sec. On the majors right now, most of it is all based off of dollar weakness. You can see the dollar yen is showing that there's an uptrend setup. But again, that's because it's pulling back, especially in the 30-minute. Aussie dollar is giving us a little bit of a oomph too, but only 15 pips in 24 hours, so I'm not super focused on it. And dollar CAD is technically an anchor break down, but we're down 3 pips in 24 hours. So again, Monday morning on that one. And then dollar Swiss is down. That's down 17 in 24. So, we'll see. I mean, it's consolidating. I think the Swiss will be interesting today. Any reaction that we see with the EU, it could be beneficial to the Swiss as well as kind of if there's any kind of banner back and forth between U.S. and China. That will also help the Swiss today. Eurobasket, again, like I said, Eurobasket, be very cautious. That's one of those things that you're going to have to constantly be refreshing this one to see what again, 55 minutes ago, there's hope. There could be something that they announce at any moment. So I would be very cautious with the Euro today. Like I said, right now, it all looks like it's doing okay. But at any moment, they could say, okay, we're doing this or we're not doing this. And this could get, kind of in a flurry. It's one of those things. It's kind of like the calm before the storm. We don't know yet what they're going to say. We think there's a compromise, but what does the compromise look like? Who is it going to help and who is it going to benefit most? And this may be the more important aspect of it, will other people follow their lead and do the same thing? One big thing, you got to point out for this week, birds are excited about that as well. One big thing to point out this week is this is the last week of July. July 25th is Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. I'm sorry, Saturday. So this is the last week that the CARES Act is providing plus $600 for people on unemployment. What will that do to the economy? What will that do to the indices? That's something I assume. At this week, I assume we will hear something this week about a potential extension, particularly with the election coming up. Because again, we're not at all-time highs anymore. Market's pulling back. Everybody's about to run out of that plus $600. When you go back to normal unemployment rates, it's kind of like, are they going to force people to go back? Will people go back? And with businesses starting to reclose back down again, or do they even have a job to go back to? I don't know. All the banter this weekend is like, if people would just stay home for 14 days, if the government just paid us for 14 days, I'm pretty sure they did, but nobody stayed home. We got that $2,000 back whenever. I think that was like the stay home for 2 weeks thing, but nobody did. Don't know. So I think we will hear something about that later this week as well. But again, that could also be, one of the factors that's going to weigh on the market this week. All right. So with that said, currency and commodity trading is not something I've experienced with. Plenty familiar with options and equities. Hopefully I can get excited about something to learn. Yeah, Tiger. And again, everything I do here, you could absolutely, without a doubt, do it on stocks. Options are just a vehicle to trade on stocks. They are just a leveraged way to play it. Commodities are a leveraged way to play oil. Currencies is basically a leverage method to play with currencies. We don't trade, we're not trading $100,000 positions, but we control $100,000 positions. It's all the same. They're just different assets. It's like, taking a vacation. You could walk, you could ride a bike, you could fly, you could take a helicopter, you could take a car, a bus, a motorcycle. There's many vehicles that do the same thing. It's all the same. All right. So hopefully you're able to pull a gem from today. All right. So with that said, let's go over to the charts. Whoops, I left the scanner on that screen. See, I said this before, guys, and I laugh about it every time, right? I started with one. I went to 2 monitors. I got a third. I'm like, I don't know if I need it, but I was having those resolution issues, so I got a special resolution monitor so I could share that screen. And so I have 3 now, right? I have 2 ultra wides and the one that it's projecting on. And again, that's a fast one. That's a pretty nice monitor. But now I'm like, man, I need like one more monitor. Like I'm like out of room. It's like so weird. I'm like, I never thought I would go to the 4. Like I used to despise 4 monitors, and now I'm like, man, I need one more. I think I'm going to turn one of the ultra wides portrait and slide this one back in the middle. I basically just need a new desktop, I think is what I need. All right, so Aussie dollar. First things first. This is what we talked about last week. We were sitting, let's see. Friday was what? Friday was the 17th. Over here. 17th to 8. So we were right in this area. All right. And we talked about, listen, we have this area up top. It's been pushed pretty deep. Maybe worth a shot, but again, it would depend on where it was based off of Sunday. Well, it came back up, and a couple hours before close. Again, I'm not trading at that time, nor should you guys be, unless you wanted to hold over the weekend, which again, not necessarily the safest thing in currencies. Again, it pulled right back up into that zone. Now, it ended up pushing back down again, showing us that we did have sellers in that area. Price gapped out. Excuse me. Price did gap down. It opened up, and again, taking that level from where the close was Friday, basically about a half hour before, that gave us a nice little entry. And again, that kicked in about 8 o'clock last night. Nice push back down and went right back into a demand level. So there was your trade from Sunday night setup. It wasn't huge. I mean, you're talking about 13 and 20. But the risk was so tiny on it, it was pretty little. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Price came up. It did just go slightly higher. And again, we do know that we do have a zone sitting there. So, it kind of is an aggressive entry, although the U.S. market is not open yet. We still got about an hour and a half. U.S. traders will be kicking in about the next 15 minutes. So, kind of ways to look at this. Yeah, we are kind of, on the shorter, kind of near-term kind of curve. Yeah, we're on the higher side. Again, price has been turned away from this area. So there is a potential short down. Things to keep on your radar. Again, looking at this kind of where we are, the 70.27. This was the nice last little push that we had at the end of last week. That is clean. Price has not been back up to that area yet. We've been kind of stuck in this kind of middle range right here. But again, if price gets back up to 70.27 today, if we do get a nice rally up, that would be a nice little turnaround point to the downside. As far as the kind of demand zones that we have here, this was fine to take a bounce. Again, you're talking about, a bounce at like 10, 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday night with really no volume. It did bounce off that level. I would not hold this level again, even though it has been tested. It pushed it to the brink. It did test, but it's not my favorite level. And then we do have the zone right here that not only did I mark it off, but the indicator marked it off as well. I'd be cautious of this one as well. We only have 2 hits. I mean, I guess technically 3 hits in it, depending if you're going to use this candle or not. But both of the hits have been very, very deep, and then we get into a racetrack. So for me, I'd be looking for kind of a push down. Again, Harry Potter, you guys know the terminology at this point. But looking for a kind of a Harry Potter trade to the downside. The 1 to 3 risk to reward is kind of deep into this big push. I mean, there is obviously a pullback here on a lower time frame. But even so, I think we'll be able to make it through that if we're able to push back down. So right now, it's kind of patience. If you want something aggressive, again, there was that short area right here. U.S. traders haven't come online. So again, right now it is a purely Australian play. But again, I do think there's a short opportunity here as well as a short one up at 70.27. Now looking across it at the Aussie, let's kind of clean that one. The Aussie yen. This one you'll see much choppier. Here was the Sunday gap. It really didn't gap anywhere. It was kind of right below. And it popped up and down. We had that zone. I think it was a 4-hour. Yeah, we have a 4-hour zone sitting up here. But for the most part, this one is all consolidation. So this one is going to need a little bit of help from the yen. And again, we want the yen to come online so we can start getting some movement. So 75.20 is the last time where we've really had much push. Again, we had a level here. And again, we've hit it. We've hit it 3 times already on this one. So at this point, I'd be a little bit more conservative, wait till price comes higher. Again, this spike is showing us that, not a bad level. And again, that level is based off of this kind of push. All right. So that's probably the best thing we have is that 75.20 to 75.40 area. Downside, I don't really like this. I don't necessarily like this. It's been there a few times. And we drew this last week because there's where the gap was from last week, that we had an area sitting right there. Let's see. How much farther down we got on this one? We got 25. I don't know. Maybe for a reversal. I mean, maybe for like a 10 o'clock push. I mean, if you have traders come online and this continues to tank, this could be a potential like 10:30 reversal time. Again, price was here. It gapped into that zone and gave us a nice buy out of it. And again, it's hinted a few times, but buyers have always stepped into this one. So, you guys can keep this on your radar, right? That 74.70 area. It's about 25 pips down from here. So again, in 2 hours, if we can drop that 25, there could be a turn point. And again, the big piece of this one is going to be the fact that every time the prices touch this, I mean, these are almost all the exact same bottoms. right here at 74.70 or 74.67. They've been stepping in. They've been stepping in. So maybe even kind of shrink this a little bit and then look for kind of a confirmation bounce off that 74.66. Um, yeah, I mean, definitely the basing on that rally base and then pop, gap into it for confirmation and then kind of riding along the top right there. So yeah, maybe throw an alert on this one. Again, this would be a reversal trade. Or again, look at this one tonight at 9:30. That's when the monetary policy meeting notes come out, as well as Lois speaking at 10:30. Okay, Euro. So Euro pushed higher. Here was that position that we talked about last week on Thursday. You guys can see that the Sunday gap happened right here. So again, it's kind of the same situation. We were up in that zone a little bit before close. Again, too late in the day on Friday to really do much with it. And again, it pushed it pretty deep. Again, 1, 2, 3, and this was number 4. So, you know, it's an area we can kind of, I guess at this point we can just remove it. It did kind of pop down through the bottom, but it's, you know, we're still inside of that 4-hour region. Let's see. Let me pull this up one higher. Yeah, we have this up here. So what I would do, guys, is I would mark this off here. Let's change this to pink. Drop that down to 1 hourly. See if we can refine it. Yeah, we can absolutely refine it. There we go. All right. And again, then it actually just missed entry on that little kind of short right there. All right. Would I take either of these too long? Probably not. Probably not. All right, so this is what I'm looking for today on this one. Oops. Either of these two levels. So 122.80. Again, nice push off. It got front run, so there may be something small in there. We'll check that out when price gets up there later. Or if we continue to push down, obviously there's one bit of a gap right here, but there's nothing holding it, nothing backstopping it. So, you know, if we're able to drop down about 50 pips, it's not going to happen before 10:30. Again, this needs to be your target for any shorts that you have, the 121.93 or 121.94 to be safe. Again, price has already shown us right here that buyers are going to step in. So be cautious. Now, as far as a long area, actually, this is not a horrible long. This reaction off of it was very, very nice. Came down, based once, pulled up, and then boom, exploded off. So for me, a long at 21.93 would actually be pretty nice. Again, we got to see what it looks like on the way down, but something along those lines. We'll look for any type of basing area and see if, again, if we get a basing level right before, probably invalidate, but keep that on your radar for an alert. 121.93. What's going on, Ray? I'm starting to get in here on time. I know, Ray. It's awesome. It's 8:30. And Ray, guess what? We're just starting the pound trades. I feel like you know. I feel like you know. All right, so pounds. Remember I mentioned, guys, just a little while ago, I said pound has been bullish all morning, right? But we got to see eventually, right? Eventually, we have retraces. Now, if you look at this morning from where the open was, this is the hourly chart. So here is the London Open, right? The UK Open. All we've had is straight up. Now, we are approaching zones. U.S. traders will come online, and this will start getting kind of, you know, there could be a battle, right? Because, again, the yen is being forced around. The dollar will start being forced around. We are pulling up into areas that we talked about last week as being potential shorts. Now, here's one right here at 135.34. Again, last time price was here, it was forced away very, very quickly, and that's where we're right now. You can see we're having a little bit of a hiccup, right? In this hourly candle, we're about 25 minutes in, and it's having some issues. So, interesting opportunity to get short in this one because, again, we have a zone here. We have another zone based off of wick over wick, and then we have a third one at 135.69. So a couple different ways to play it. Again, we can play this in spot currency. This first one, although it's an aggressive level, is only about 15 pips. Not very much risk. And again, this is quite a fast rally up with no real big news. I mean, the only thing we've heard is this, right? Johnson faces, you know, Parliament rebellion on post-Brexit trade deals. Just because they haven't gotten done yet. Britain will have to renegotiate many of its trade deals. Yep, everybody kind of knew that, right? Everybody knew that. That's not new. But the fact that no deals are done yet is kind of what's bugging, I think, some people. But again, that could give us a great opportunity right here for, you know, to start getting in some shorts. And we're seeing some red in there right now. So 135, I think I had it up. Let me see. Where I was looking at? I was looking at knockouts. Wanted to see what the pound knockouts were real quick. So we're at 126.30. And 126.72 is the best one. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wrong one. Oh, I'll have to do the knockouts on the other one. I forgot. So there's probably shorts on this one right now coming in. Look for this to retrace back down again. I don't have any problems with any of the 1 to 3 or 1 to 5 targets. The only hiccup will be probably down here in the middle. But that's well over your 1 to 3. All right. So pound dollar. All right. So this is what I was looking for. So we're at 126.30 right now. It looks like there's a 126.72, which is just above this level. So let's dump it back up again. Let's see. It wants me to delete that. Pull this across. Same idea, guys. So we are in an area where, again, very, very fast descent on a Monday morning with no U.S.-based traders. Again, it's 8:30, so we have U.S. traders coming online. As you can see, it's having a little bit of a hiccup. We had marked off this level here. Let's see, which one do I want to take here? There's a couple different ones. So we have a 4-hour zone that we're approaching. Actually, that's what we just bounced off of. Got in this one. 19. Let's see. We are at our indicative value is 126.33. There's a 126.72 knockout ceiling, but that's a bit high. I mean, we're sitting. Let's see. Let's change this so it's solid. Whoops. Solid. So we can see it. We'll put it as orange. We'll make this 1.2672. So there's where there's a knockout. So if we can get up into this 126.57, and again, I'll continue this across. This is a level we talked about last week. Okay. There's a knockout for those of you. It's a knockout number 3. I know the new platform doesn't have it. I'm resisting kicking and screaming not to go to the new one, but I'm really just using the old one right now for analysis. I'm actually not entering anything in for Nadix right now. We are again aggressive short right here. If not, there is knockout number 3, or we could take this in spot as well. If you take it in spot, that would give you about 15 pip risk, which is not bad. The knockout is sitting right on the other side of this marked off zone. You can see it here with this kind of orange line. So I think that's in a great position if we're able to get up there. So easy ways to do this one, guys, is set yourself an alert right down in this area. Right? If you want to walk away, have it send you an email. And again, if we can get up in this range, up here into 126.54-ish range, that gives you, 126.50. That gives you about 7 pips to get back in time to be able to either enter your position or reanalyze and see if you like it or not. But again, aggressive short is in this area. It's kind of, moving back around. Again, U.S. traders coming online. But there is definitely a knockout Nadex short just above it at 126.57 as well. All right. All right, next one. Euro pound. So as you can see, Euro pound, it rallied up. Most of this happened in the overnight. Again, this coincided with the European Open. Right, you guys can see it right here. Look at the bottom. It turned at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, yes, UK Open. Where we are now, like I said, last week I talked about these 3 different little speed bumps where price has been, kind of touched. This was just a big push up. Again, this zone got front run just by a little bit on Friday. And again, that was a 10 o'clock reversal push down. So again, having a 2 a.m., it makes sense. It was in an area right before the UK Open. Again, big pound push. What I'm worried about now, again, we haven't heard anything, official yet. Official. I was just going to check the thing real quick. And there was a protein treatment trial, a breakthrough. That's a UK company. Which produces a viral infection. Oh, it's a hospitalization thing. All right. So we do have, let me see, 30 minutes probably better. Yeah. So see this zone? There's 2 zones here. This is probably the one that I would worry about. The one down here. I think that would be a better area. If we can get a little bit more of a push to the downside, about 20 more pips, that would probably be a good area for this one to turn and flip. There is obviously buyers that stepped in this level right here. Again, you can see buyers stepped in. Again, buyers also stepped in kind of this block, right? This block right here. Let's change this to white. So not surprised we are basing. I do think it will continue to push through until at least we hear US-based data. So if anything else, guys, get yourself a trigger on this one for 90.36. This could be set up for a reversal. And that's really the last time that we've had any type of movement. And it was this push up, this base, a gap down, it pushed over, and then it retested the top, and then huge push. 8 candles right off the top of that zone down here at 90.36. So that would be an area where I'd be interested in a reversal, replaying this parabolic move to the downside based off the UK open today. All right, euro dollar. So euro dollar closed up inside of a zone. It was an area that we talked about if we were in, and again, you guys can see it did end up pushing itself lower. There was a small trade in there, and again, there was another one. You'd had to take a smaller zone on this one based off of the again, the weekend gap. There was kind of this zone, and again, you could have shrunk it, brought yourself kind of up in this range. It ended there. It kind of pushed up again, based, and then dropped and made it to about a 2-to-1. I would really say, again, the trade setup was there, but I really didn't have any interest in taking this one. Again, with those EU economic summits, be very, very cautious. So, at this point, it was able to chunk its way through enough, but it's pulling back into that same zone again. I would erase, I'm going to erase it, for our levels of analysis at this point, just because, and what I'll do is I'll extend this across and we'll hold this one. And again, we'll keep this as a zone of interest, but not a tradable zone. And the reason why is, again, once we get official kind of what's happening with, is the summit, are they agreeing? Are they not agreeing? I think that will give us more of an idea. And again, it's been an area of interest, right? We came up, we hit it again, we rode along it, we pushed up again, pushed back down, popped over, used it as a base, and now we're kind of riding on the top. So it's definitely been, this 114.45 has been an area of interest that, again, we may be able to use later on in the future, okay? And again, there is a near-term short. Now, when price comes back down, if it does come back down, I think that 113.70 is an area that is kind of important. You guys can see that, again, we marked the zone here, right? There's kind of two. There's this zone, and as well as there is this zone that is actually retested. So I would say the aggressive kind of target, make sure you're out by 113.70. But, and here I'll move this across, that is kind of the target for here. And that's what we hit in this area. That is right in that area. But I would say, just to be a little bit more conservative, make sure, again, for any type of long bounces, 113.61 is going to be the long bounce area that we're looking for. And you guys can see, if I drew a line, the profit target area there, you can see that's what we bounced off of right here, right? That's what we were bouncing off of before. And again, aggressive wise, if you wanted to take that, sure. But it's basically a level on top of a level, which I'm always going to take a little bit farther one. So, if we can get a continuation short to the downside, which, again, once we find out what the news is and how the world likes it, we can either jump in or again, kind of just wait for it to reestablish new levels. Any targets, downside, make sure you're at 113.61, but there is some longs coming off of 113.61 as well. So again, there will be a long entry. As we get a bit closer, we'll talk about it, but it's about 84 pips. Daily ATR is about 75, so we got some room to run on this one, okay? EuroCAD. All right, so EuroCAD, we had levels up a little bit higher, and as you guys can see, this one did absolutely nothing. So we were looking for a collapse of this zone to see if we could, basically make up from 135.57, kind of where price is right now, a little bit higher from where we are right now, to push us to the downside. This was a trade that we had talked about last week. We had all this basing. We were going off a level. It was looking for some sellers. This big push, again, it was a news-based push, so we wanted to kind of, take it back over, and it was drawn off the hourly. So we're kind of at that level right now. Dollar CAD is down 8 pips in 24 hours, so really not that much. Again, you guys can see, at least on the 30-minute, look at this. It's just flat, one push, flat. And with no news today, I just don't think this will give us too much. Tomorrow, remember, tomorrow morning at 8:30, again, we'll be on. We have the core retail sales and retail sales numbers. So this will definitely be much more of a mover tomorrow. And again, we'll probably bump this one forward so we can do the analysis before news to see if there's a news trade setup. But really nothing in this one. Again, I'm going to remove that just to kind of clean the week. And we'll see, again, how this short continues to the downside. If you are short, again, we saw a basing level here in a retest. Make sure you're out by 135.02. All right, 135.02 is going to be a great area to get out. Again, we saw buyers step in. We saw basing right off the top of that level, and it's coming off the hourly, right? It's this level punched forward, and then again, the retest off of that punch from this candle. All right, so 135.02 needs to be your exit for profit targets, and potentially a bounce for, a reversal if we, are able to get in a trade that time. Now, dollar yen. Dollar yen finally gave us a spike. I mean, this thing was consolidating. We talked about this is a level we were looking to get out. And then bam, finally, this thing finally gave us a bounce, a move, late last night, right? And there could be any number of reasons. Again, this is a weird Sunday night trade. I can remove some of these up. I'll just take this one off. We'll move this. Oh, whoops. That was the level that we had talked about before, the retesting off. Pop that out. There we go. And now, the reason why we didn't do anything with this is, again, I left it up here for a specific reason. You can see a touch, and then a touch, and that's basically where we ended, was in that zone. It was too late to get in any type of continuation trade, as well as there was levels below. So again, we didn't do anything with this trade, but I want to point out what happened. We saw it gap on the other side from the bottom, pull up, and then use that as kind of a takeoff point. Now, it wasn't a trade that I looked at. It was a little bit late in the evening. I was already off the PC at the time. Great little pop off of that, but again, parabolic move and a parabolic retracement back, okay? On an hourly basis, you guys can see that it did come across, and it was hitting levels that we had marked off before. Just didn't assume that it would punch through all those levels, right? So it did punch through again. Whenever we see something blow through levels, again, they were Friday levels. I wasn't concerned about them as much. Again, when you get that reversal pattern there, this was a retrace of about 50 pips overnight, okay? Large extended range, bodied candle, news-based, low volume, Sunday night trade. It's going to retrace to the origin of the move, and that's exactly what it did in the overnight. All right, exactly what it did. And again, that level was, you guys can see, I'll mark it here. Look to the left. Look right here. You guys see over here? It's the same level that we had marked off before. All right, so parabolic retracement move in this one. Really at the end of the day, it's moved 1 pip in 24 hours, but look how much movement. 50 up, 50 back down again. You wouldn't have caught that 50. This was obviously a surprise move, right? Surprise move. But the retracement was obviously planned. So we're back at that level again, the 107.02 area. It will probably slow us down. Question is, what will happen with the open in an hour? What will be the response? And a couple things. One, will we have a European agreement by that point? It's starting to get later in the day for the EU Economic Summit. Will we get some news? And again, will it be news that the U.S. economy will have to follow? Depending on what they agree on and the type of grants, if it gives their businesses kind of a leg up or some type of, incentive that will kind of beat us out, obviously the U.S. is going to have to respond and come out with something similar so our businesses are not hurt in kind of the dealings with the European Union. So it could have some effect on this one. Like I said, I think that this pair today will probably be a wait and see. If we get some type of news headline, we will get a spike again. And it's going to be a similar trade setup. When you see this large spike, look for a retracement back to the origin of the move, particularly because none of these are planned economic releases. The market has not been able to prepare for it. The market doesn't know where it's going to occur. So we get a surprise burst, look for a retrace back, and retail traders, basically going along with it. So, 107.02 is important. Again, there's another level sitting down here that any shorts, make sure you're at before 106.75. That's a level that, again, nice little pop off of it. Make sure you're at. I don't know that I, instantly go long from that level. But again, if we can time this with 10 o'clock or, maybe end of day rally, there could be something in here at this 106.75. This one doesn't excite me too much. Like I said, the Sunday night, parabolic retracement move was, again, where the money was on this one for today. Now, dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss had a lot of movement, right? Here's where Sunday night happened, right? We're basically at the same spot. We're only down 18 pips in 24 hours. A lot of this move came last week. You had that area marked off, and we talked about it already on Friday. Basically, Friday just pushed away, continued to push away from that level. Friday morning for chart school, we were sitting, actually, I guess the 17th, we were sitting right here. So most of the move has already happened. It was the European markets on Friday. We kind of pushed up to that same level. You can see that right here that this base came across. The drop, base, drop. Grab that level right here and then just push back down. But we're only talking about 20 pips, so wasn't anything huge in the overnight. Things that I'd be watching out for on this one, again, there's your 4 hour. Whoops. You can see a 4 hour level. down here at 93.45. Whoa, who's calling me? Why am I getting a bunch of messages? Oops, hold on. My one sec, guys. Hold on one sec. Hey, send a message. I'm on top turf, middle turf. Oh, hold on. I gotta send a message to Asher has his private lesson this morning. There you go. Oops, hold on. He has a private lesson in 20 minutes. I'm like, no, I'm doing chart school, guys. Can't go. Let me just send it to mom real quick. Where is it? All right, so 93.47 is an area that we want to look for longs. We should be able to reach it today if we continue this kind of downward pressure. That's kind of what I'm looking for. It's kind of what I'm holding out for. All right, there you got it. I sent the message. Just sent over to her. All right. Yeah, we have a big tournament coming up this weekend, so I want to make sure he gets that lesson in. All right, so let's jump to the next one, NQ. All right, so as of Friday, we talked about NQ being a bit down on this one. You guys can see it in the hourly. It has kind of pushed up a little bit, right? So Friday at 8, we were sitting right here. You know, we talked about a push down, and it came back up to that same level and ended up being down for the day. So not much movement. Again, you can see that it's kind of in a consolidation sideways. Obviously, Monday morning is always interesting. The market will react to everything that happened over the weekend. Again, short-term levels, be a bit cautious. Again, we want to see what that initial spike looks like. But I have levels sitting in here at 10,722. Again, we had the small short on Friday. The short was fine. But areas of focus for me right now, again, on a 4-hour basis, actually, was that 30-minute? Yeah, the 30-minute level. So 107.22, 108.34 are two levels that I'm watching for shorts. Again, maybe we have that big spike up, but either of these two levels could be interesting reversal times at 10:30 this morning. Again, after the initial response to the weekend. And for some reason, if we collapse and this thing just drops to the downside, 10.335 is the level that I'm looking at to the downside. And again, you guys can see that kind of over here. I'm not really interested in the levels. There are obviously some levels sitting in this range. But again, it's been, poked. And next comes down, it's going to be, number 3, number 4, depending on which level you're talking about in this white zone. I'm leaving this here because we were talking about that zone for Nadex. Again, tomorrow we'll be mentioning this one as well. But right now, I'd say, yeah, I want this to come a bit higher. Get me up in either of those two ranges, and I'd like to take a short on this one. Again, like to push down. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the EU Economic Summit, if they come out with something that is so beneficial for business, we are going to be, we're going to have to do something as well. Look for a tweet response, and that, again, that could be jacking our market back up again. If we get a big push, again, there are levels up here. 11.024 is kind of another area where we're looking for shorts. Again, closer to that all-time high. The movement off of that area was just so big last time. Look at the power of this was just such a big push. You got to think that there's got to be some sellers up in that area still. All right, so short near term, 10,722, 10,834 on this one for the day. Now S&P, same thing off of Friday. It did push back to the downside. That's what we had talked about before. But again, it's more or less just consolidated. It's more or less sitting in this area. We had this 31.97. You guys can see that it came down in the overnight right here and tagged the 31.97 and did push higher, right? It did push higher in the overnight. That level kicked in about 3 o'clock, again, the European Open, for, a bit of a long, right? A bit of a long. So levels, this one has a big level right above it. We've seen this one before, this 32.42. I still think that's the level to watch. Again, depending on what the open looks like, right? Depending on what happens when those retail traders start hitting the buttons today, I would probably wait to go either direction. 31.42, again, be looking for shorts. 31.97, again, longs. And again, be very cautious on this top side because we are approaching kind of the upper range here. We're not there, but we're getting pretty close, right? So that's what I'd be watching out for. All right. Dow. So Dow did the same thing, guys. We talked about levels through the top. Again, this white level that we had talked about that I got punched through and then pulled back up to and then based in again gave us another short. And if you continued it across, you guys can see that there was another short over here. And that was basically where we were at chart school on Friday. And we talked about, hey, listen, Dow, I would be short with the Dow today, and that's what we got. It continued to push down, 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 and then boom, right here, it ended. So it was down for the day, nothing exciting. There was no pullback on it. It continued to push. Again, I'm going to remove this level because it's a little bit far off now. But again, there's another level of basing right there. And again, just crudely thrown on there. But you can see that's what we have. Looking at this one chart-wise, to me, this one looks like it wants to push to the downside. We have had a little bit of a failure to go higher, right? Right here, this red candle did not go as high as the previous push. And this green pullback is not much. If we get a break below, let's see, a break below kind of like 126.55-ish. Remember, this is ECN-based data, so the number is going to be slightly off. But a break below this area, again, could signal a short for the day. There's a small level here, but, again, it's a lot of wicks on the side. Yeah, I'd have to say probably bearish, right? I mean, this, again, unless we get a big spike, great. If we do, wonderful. I mean, there's a couple little areas where we could short. But right now, again, this one looks like it wants to be bearish on the day. Yeah, I don't even love any of the, I guess that one's not bad. This one's all right, right? If we do get a push up again for a reversal this morning, this 26,765 could be a reversal for 10 o'clock if we get a rally at the open. And maybe we will. Maybe the Europeans are going to be done, and maybe we do get that rally. And I'll be fine with that and, take it short from here. But if anything, I would say it looks down, but for me, for a tradable short, it would be 26,755. And again, if we can, if we can break this level, there's not too much sitting over here. All right. Gold. So gold, we are back up in that magical area. Now, we did finally push above, right? But again, we went to the very, very peak right up here, right? And again, I actually didn't expect this spike, but I assumed that a lot of this I assumed that we'd have the European close yesterday, right? Again, we've had so many different sells off this area, this 1812 to 1817, 1816 area. I mean, there was a short here, 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 a short here. We missed it by this one, and we finally came back up again. So it's pushing. What I would do is I would wait. I'd drop down to a 30-minute and see, is it going to, it did push up, and it went to the exact peak of what we had prior, right? It went to this peak. You guys can see, look, I'll draw the line right there. You guys see the same peak? So it's the same seller stepping in. The question is, how is the market going to react now? Are we going to get a green pullback and then we get a push down, or is it going to attempt to go higher? So right now, gold is a wait and see. We'll see what the market gives us. Got 45 minutes to the open. I would say that I am bearish up here. Again, it is high on the curve, so I am more bearish focused at this point, looking for an entry. We don't have an entry right now. I'm not going to just take it off the top of that wick. I want to see some type of level of basing. I want to see a clean failure to go higher. And I want to see it push up. I want to see it come down in base. I want to see it try to push back up again and then fail. And then when it closes below, it gives us that confirmation entry. I'm going to look to get short this one again. If it just continues to push higher, again, I am just still waiting for the correct entry in the candles. And it's not there yet, right? It's not there. But bearish focused on this one. I'm looking for a retrace back to the downside. And again, I think for the week, though, I think depending on what happens with the CARES Act this week, I do think that this has potential to punch through the top side later on this week. If they come out with some type of stimulus to make up for the CARES Act, that just basically means printing more money, which, again, the inflation hawks are going to jump in there and be like, yeah, that will also punch us higher. So I do think that this has some great potential this week, but it's going to be based off of some type of additional stimulus with the CARES Act, if that makes sense. And again, that's going to be basically, wanting. It's going to be an election-based kind of thing because, again, we're getting close. All right? But I do think we have the potential to go higher. Now, silver is finally putting in the work. Now, silver is up there exactly kind of where gold is. It finally fought its way from all this kind of junk in here to go a bit higher. And, again, we're approaching, near-term high levels, right? So we had some things marked off. And again, more or less basing back and forth. This 1893 was a good buy, and it continued to push higher. And the question was, what would it do after that? We had a level here at 1923. Again, we broke it and kind of went below, but we wanted to keep that kind of focused on our radar because, again, it based here, went above, pulled back up, came over, based again, dropped and touched it, came down, based, went right above it, below, based on it again. So it's an area that we need to kind of keep focused on, and that area is actually 1915. Where we are right now, I don't have anything on this one, so it's kind of the same situation. I'm waiting for a push up, a drop, and kind of a failed attempt to go any higher on this one. There are a few levels that I do like for longs on this one, but none of them are, none of them that I would say, hey, listen, just to the general public, I would go long right from here or right from here. It's gonna be based off of how the candles form. Like I said, I would be fine if this candle stops. I mean, again, it's only got 9 minutes left on it. If it stops with just this, right, and gives us a red, that could give us the pullback. It could. I mean, it may give us, this may be the level. This may be where it's pulling back. As you can see, it's pulled back. It's kind of more of a neutral candle right now. If it paints a red next candle and a red and then a green up, yes, it would be a short entry. Don't know. We got to wait 9 more minutes and see how this one comes across. But that's what I'm looking for, is a failure to go higher. Kind of one of these situations right now. We just don't have it yet. All right. So looking for a confirmation out of a high push. I do think in 45 minutes we will get kind of an idea of what's happening. Again, media driven, inflation, a bunch of different things on this one, which will again. But silver is finally caught up again. It's nice to have that one there. All right. I'm not going to cover. CAD yen's kind of stuck in the middle. Like I said, I'm looking for top or bottom for CAD yen. This will be something that we cover tomorrow morning for that Canadian news. Hopefully today we push up, but if it does move early, guys, or God forbid I keel over at lacrosse in the extreme heat tonight, 97.21 and 80 cent. I'm sorry, 79.21 and 78.64 are the two levels I'm looking for tomorrow's news. If either of those two, again, if we get in either range of those two, short and long, respectively, off of those. Let me pull trading view. Let's pull trading view. Let me pull oil real quick. Full featured chart. Bam. All right, so here's that level we talked about, again, being that magnet level. Okay, what did we talk about? We talked about that 41 was still a great level. And this is kind of the chop we got back and forth. It is now down back into the 40-20 range. Areas of big kind of movement. Like I said, is there anything in here? Not really. I mean, it's poked here, poked a little bit lower, poked again. So the small area of buyers that we have in here, I do think are probably somewhat limited in nature. I do think, again, just like that 41 level is something we got to watch out for. I do think that probably this range, there's probably something going on over here. And again, we marked off a level a little bit lower, but this reaction off this was a very nice reaction. So 39.25 and 30.05 are kind of levels that I'm looking for longs. I don't think we'll hit it today, but again, I think this, in just looking at this right now, again, we have this kind of failure to push and go any higher. Again, any news today that's bad, which will be demand based, again, that will continue to push this one back to the downside. So for, again, it's a bit early to talk about inventory because it's only Monday morning. The market hasn't even opened. But for me, I still have shorts in here at 41, and again, longs coming in at 39.25. It's got some room to run. It's got a chop back and forth. Besides that, and again, this is on a 30-minute chart, so you can see wasn't super fun. But here is where we are now, on the 17th. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Right. Here's where we were, and this is all we got. We got a pop up, a pop down, a pop up, a failure, and it just continued to push down. So, nothing new at this point in this one. Okay, I'm still bearish. I would like it to come all the way down. I think it would be great. I'd love to take a long off this position, but just nothing too exciting. All right, guys. So that's oil for the day. Like I said, Mondays is kind of sometimes we get reactions. I don't see anything yet. Oh, here we go. This is the first one from 1 minute ago. So that's the only thing that we got. That's the most recent. It happened 1 minute ago. The EU leaders show first signs of compromise of stimulus plan. It looks like they're talking about it. A 1.8 trillion euro compromise stimulus plan. They're extended for a day. Let's see. Believe they now have a chance. But old grievances between countries less affected by the pandemic and the indebted countries of Italy and Greece. You guys remember the pigs? Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Spain. Yeah. Kidding. Yep. So pigs are coming back again. So that's the first kind of, and again, that's not an official headline. That's just hey, look, we got the first signs, trying to be first, right? So still holding off for that EU Economic Summit data. When we get that will give us a little bit more kind of an idea of where things are moving for the day, particularly with the euro. But I'm very curious to see what the compromise, or if any compromise, is. Because again, if it is so spectacular for, these countries and their businesses, the president is obviously going to have to say something. The Fed is going to have to be like, are we going to have to respond as well? Like, will we be forced into some type of response? That could definitely jack gold. That could be a big gold mover for the day. All right. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do the drawing. It is a couple minutes before 9. Let me pull this across. Ooh, excuse me. Oops. Yeah, look, see, I was trying to put that thing up there, and it's not working. All right, giveaway so far. There's my boy YOLO. I love that name. I'm gonna steal that name. I love that name. That is like the best name ever. All right, so Morena was the winner last week. Remember, Ernest and Morena were literally they have the lock on the how to win pip chips thing. Last week they literally swapped back and forth every other day. Neither one of them got a double win, but there was literally a battle. So if you guys are new to the channel, pip chips are just a currency that we use. You're able to purchase things like one-on-one mentoring. We can break down, analyze anything you want, talk about strategies. Again, stocks, options, forex, futures, money management, market psychology. We can talk about any of it. And it's free. You guys get your first ticket for free. After that, it's 10 pip chips. You accumulate pip chips by watching the channel. So I will give you guys until this gets to 59, and then I will go ahead and shut it down for the day, and we will do the drawing. Also, remember, tomorrow we are not on at 8 a.m. I'm sorry. Yeah, at 8 a.m. Tomorrow morning we are on at noon, because tomorrow is the Nadex broadcast. I'm not going to do the back-to-back, but Mondays are at 8, Tuesdays are at 12. The rest of the week will be 8 to 9 a.m. So if you guys got in late today, make sure Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, if you like this 8 to 9 a.m. time frame, you guys are more than welcome to join us. 20 seconds to go. Let's see. Will got in for his. Will's in for 1. Ernest is in for 2. Wealth Builder's in. But see, Wealth Builder's best one's when he's like, he calls a shot. I'm going to win it. So Ernest is in for 3. And I think Morena won the last one from Friday. I think that's who traded up, right? I feel like she's the one that won last time. I'll check it, though. But I'm pretty sure she won on Friday. All right, so let's go ahead and draw today's winner. And remember, Ernest spends the chip tips, so she doesn't win, but she wins with 1 all the time. It's amazing. All right, winner of today's drawing is Wealth Builder. Look at that. I even mentioned Wealth Builder about calling the shots. And look at this. My man comes in here and just throws down 2 and says, yeah, I'm taking it. Look at that. 18% chance I'm taking it. If I didn't win, it's rigged. Yo, you only got 1, man. The percentages were not just there. Yo, you've been in for 2 days. You have a 50% win ratio. That's pretty good. Can't be upset about that. All right, let me go ahead and give Wealth Builder his chips. Oops, not that one. Leaderboard. Let's go ahead and give Wealth Builder his 25 in here for his 25. And you can see the battle at the top is getting pretty heated. Morena she was up here and she just cashed in for redemption. She has her mentoring session tomorrow. And Morena, it's at 4:30, right? I'm pretty sure it's at 4:30 is what popped up on my calendar. I'll double check it, but if it's not 4:30 because of something weird, let me know. But yeah, so she has a mentoring appointment. So she used to be here, but yeah, there's a lot of battle. Look at Debbie. Debbie's like one or 2 wins away too from taking the top. Will's just hoarding pip chips. He's just like, I'm gonna hold this top, and I'm gonna sit back and drink my cognac and smoke my cigar as Ernest is blowing these to stop Morena. It's a battle for the top, guys. It's hard to stay in first. All right, guys. So with that said, tomorrow I will be on at noon. Remember, it is Nadex based. I won't be able to answer and respond to things in chat as easy. But again, you guys know the big names. They are more than welcome. Ernest, James, Morena, Wealth Builder. You guys can answer any of the questions. Will, absolutely as well. Anybody that asks questions, you guys are more than welcome to answer questions if I can't tomorrow. So guys, have a good trading day. Like I said, look out for that European news. 10 o'clock, 10:30 today is probably going to be a great trade time. There'll probably be a lot of setups, so make sure you guys look at that. Log in, if you're not looking at charts, but literally cycle through everything between 10 and 10:30. There's going to be some setups today based off of U.S. response to the weekend, big burst emotional plays, a reversal when calmer heads prevail, as well as the European news. All right, so you guys take care. I will catch you tomorrow. Have a good trading day.